I just went through the bill. It looks to me like mostly a power to make regulations. 10 of your 18 pages are not specifics. They're just the power for cabinet to make regulations. Could you not figure out what you were going to do with this, or people are going to have to wait till the fall to find out what you're actually doing?
We're really clear about what we're doing. We've done extensive consultations with British Columbians. We are putting in place a limit on pain and suffering awards for minor injuries. It is going to ensure that disputes under $50,000 don't go to BC Supreme Court, which is very expensive, and that they go instead to the Civil Resolution Tribunal. Like many pieces of legislation that government introduces, their regulation-making powers. The intent of these regulation-making powers is to ensure that the statute can stay up to date with respect to costs and changing scenarios that might take place. We recognize that other jurisdictions have changed their caps, for example, over time to reflect increased need to respond to the realities on the ground, whatever it might have been that caused them to change the caps. For us, when we're putting the legislation forward, we want it to be as much as possible evergreen so that we can make changes if necessary. These are huge changes for British Columbia. These are huge changes for ICBC, and we want to make sure that we have the flexibility to respond as we're rolling things out. The core pieces are not changing. The core pieces are to get minor injury disputes out of the BC Supreme Court system. For example, in Alberta, they put in place a definition for minor injuries. They failed to include a joint disorder called TMJ, and they became the North American headquarters for TMJ injuries, because TMJ injuries would get you out of their definition of minor injury. So we need to be able to respond as cases go forward to ensure that our definition stays up to date, that it achieves the goal that we intend, that people who have minor injuries go through a process that reflects that. Not BC Supreme Court, but a process that can be resolved in 90 days, not 3 years.